What is up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's live. Tonight's live is going to be awesome. I'm going to be sharing some secrets tonight that I haven't shared a lot of these in public, and I think you're going to want to pay attention. You're going to want to hang around and hear all the just this is the confessions of a diabetic weight loss coach. You're going to learn a lot about me tonight. You're going to learn a lot about the origins of Hope 30 and how everything that I've been through, we're now using to help thousands of people transform their weight loss and their health through Hope 30. So when you're getting on, if you wouldn't mind putting down in the comments where you're coming in from and whether you're watching it live or on the replay, please like this and share this out to your friends, because I think what we talk about tonight is really going to be impactful for a lot of people. So I would love it if you would please like it and share it. And please put down in the comments where you're coming in from and whether you're watching it live or on the replay, because I want to know, are you getting the full energy of Dr. Jim live, or you watching on the replay? But either way, tonight's live is going to be awesome, because tonight I'm going to be sharing some things that I haven't shared a lot in public. These are some true confessions about my weight loss journey, about where I started, and ultimately how we can use that information to help you on your weight loss journey. So let's start off with a couple things. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jim, and I'm a chiropractor and a natural functional medicine doctor. And a number of years ago, I weighed 60 pounds more than I do right now, and I was a type 2 diabetic. And what that made me do was I dove deep into natural functional medicine, blood work and testing to try to really search out what was the root cause of my weight gain and my type 2 diabetes. And I took that information and I completely transformed my health. And I was able to lose 60 pounds and completely reverse my type 2 diabetes. And since then, we have gone on to teach thousands of people the exact same information and help them do the exact same thing through our Hope 30 program. And so if that sounds interesting to you and you'd like to check out Hope 30, you can go over to hope30.com and you can check out some testimonials and all about the program, and you could join. Our next session is coming up really soon. But if not, if you're on Facebook, you can put info in the comments and go check your messenger, and there'll be a link in there for you as well to check out Hope 30. And I hope you'll take advantage of it. But tonight's topic is really sort of kind of true confessions of a type 2 diabetic weight loss coach. And that's me. I had become a type 2 diabetic. I wasn't always that way, and I wasn't always overweight. I wrestled in high school. I played sports in high school. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. Thanks for getting on. I appreciate it. But what happened is I started, Nicole and I, after I graduated chiropractic school, we moved to Richmond and we opened up a brand new chiropractic office. And I don't know if you've ever started a business or started a brand new job. Well, it's really stressful. I don't know if you know that, but it's really, really stressful. And I was stressed out all the time, like, is anybody ever going to find out about us? Or is anybody going to get in, and come see me? And is my business going to fail? And maybe you felt that way before working, trying to make money or work for your family, but you feel all this stress and this pressure. Maybe you're just busy running around. And I was so busy, I didn't think that I had time to like eat right or eat well. And there's a convenience store right by my office. And on my lunch break, I would zing right over there. I grab a Snickers bar because, of course, Snickers really satisfies. And I would grab a Snickers bar and a Coca-Cola. And I would eat a Snickers bar and a Coca-Cola. And then I would come back to work and I would, work. Then I would come home and, I would get home and I would eat dinner. And it wasn't oftentimes more than, now these are true confessions, everybody. I am coming clean. I want everybody to know this. Like, if you think that you struggle with weight loss because you may have like, oh, I have problems with food. I like to snack. Well, I want you to know I understand you. All right? Because I've had all of those issues. So I would come home and Nicole's an amazingly great cook, and she would make this wonderful, tasty dinner. And literally 15 minutes, I would sit down on the couch, and it wasn't more than 15 minutes after I sat down on the couch, I was back up and I was walking around. I'm opening up the refrigerator, I'm opening up the pantry, and I'm looking for what, like, is there something else I can eat? What else can I eat? Is there something salty I can get? Are there some chips? Are there some crackers? Wait, and then I would eat some chips and some crackers, and then I'm like, okay, is there something sweet now to offset the crackers? And then I would go find something sweet and I would eat that, and then I'd sit down for another 20, 30 minutes, and I'd get back up and I'd go look again. And this process was so prevalent in our house that we called it the pantry crawl. And the pantry crawl is every time you sit down on the couch for 15 or 20 minutes, you want to get up and you want to go look in the pantry and see what else you could eat, right? What other snacks are hidden in there that you might be able to get. And I used to do that every day, all the time. And so much so that, and again, this is true confessions of a type 2 diabetic weight loss coach, is that while all this was going on and I'm eating like that every day, Nicole worked in television when we lived in Atlanta. And so we have always loved television. We have always loved movies. And we used to sit down and we watched movies as often as possible, maybe 3 or 4 times a week. And we would click on, now, by the way, this is back when, Debbie says, I appreciate your openness and honesty because we can really relate to what you're saying. Well, thank you, Debbie. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because I think that very often sometimes the people that may be coaching you or teaching you about weight loss, maybe they never had a weight problem before. Maybe they never did the pantry crawl. Maybe they've always had six-pack abs. Well, for me, that's not been the case. And so I have a different perspective, and I think it makes me uniquely qualified to help you on your weight loss journey. But Nicole, really, we love TV, we love movies, and 3-4 days a week, we would watch movies. And every time we would start a movie, you can't watch a movie if you don't have popcorn, right? So we always had microwave popcorn, and I would microwave a bag. But Nicole, I'm not sharing my bag of microwave popcorn with you, Nicole. If you want some, you're going to have to get your own bag, but I want my whole bag because I'm going to eat this whole bag. And I would just sit there and just eat microwave popcorn while we watch this movie, hands all greasy. I can't tell you how many shirts I ruined that probably had like a little grease spot on the front from dropping the oily butter popcorn on the front. But, just recently I looked at the nutrition facts of this bag of popcorn. 500 calories, which you may say, well, that's not horrible. Well, I mean, if you've already had dinner, 500 calories is enough calories for a whole meal. And I just ate that after eating dinner, sitting down watching a movie, plus all the popcorn is just straight. Do you know how quickly corn turns into sugar in your bloodstream? Like that. And it's sugar covered in industrial seed oils, right? Like, this is a recipe for unhealthiness. And I would finish that bag of popcorn, and 15 minutes after I finished the bag of popcorn, oh boy, I need something sweet. And let's just hope there was ice cream in the house or chocolate or something, and then I would have something sweet on top of it. And I got to tell you guys, this went on for many years, to the point where I was 60 pounds heavier than I am right now. And it was tough. I didn't sleep well. I had chronic reflux. I had club feet when I was born, and my joints, I cannot tell you how bad my joints used to hurt. I limped all the time. There was a lot of inflammation and pain. And I used to, after eating the popcorn and the dinner and the snacks, I I would literally just almost nod out anywhere, because of sort of, now looking back on it, it was sort of this carbo crash that would happen after I eat all these carbs, and then I would just like pass out anywhere. Well, this all came to everything, and I mean everything changed this one summer day. It changed everything. And not only did this one day change everything, but it changed the trajectory of my life. It changed the trajectory of my health. It changed the direction of Nicole's health. It changed the trajectory and life and health of thousands of people that have done Hope 30. Because on this one summer day, we used to go, my parents have a lake house, and we used to go to their lake house on the weekends. And usually it was on Sunday was when we would be driving home. So my mom would get up and she would make us this awesome Southern breakfast. You know, there would be pancakes and eggs and probably biscuits and whatever. And so we would eat breakfast and be like, oh, syrup and pancakes, and be like, oh, that was so amazing. And then, 10:30, 11, 12 o'clock, I would load Nicole, the chocolate lab, our son Hunter, who at the time was like probably 2, 3 years old, load them all up into the SUV, and we would start driving from the lake home. Now it's about an hour and 45, 2 hour drive, and it's it's on a 2-lane going one way, a 2-lane going the other, with a giant sort of grassy median in the middle. And I was driving home. It's probably noon, so it's the middle of the day. Got a great night's sleep, just had this wonderful breakfast, and I'm driving home, and I cannot stay awake. I am literally having the carbo crashing while I'm driving, like narcolepsy, like passing out. Well, I basically passed out, and the car started to literally go off the road. So much so that we got the vibration, the jingle, and it scared me. And I woke up and I jerked the car back onto the road, and my heart was pounding out of my chest, because it was in that moment I realized I could have killed my entire family. My 3-year-old son, who we had worked that's a whole nother story, that we had worked so hard to get to be here. And I could have killed everybody in that minute. I was really rattled. We pulled off the road. I told Nicole to drive, and on the way home, I said, let's not go home. We need to go to the pharmacy. And we went to the pharmacy, and I bought a blood sugar monitor, because I was like, my blood sugar must be crashing. That's why I'm passing out. Well, this was the point that changed everything. Not only did I almost kill my family, but this is when I discovered that I was a type 2 diabetic, because I started testing my blood sugar, and I started realizing it was way too high. Now, not only could I have almost killed my family that day, which was enough to make me change my life forever, but I also realized that right now I weigh 60 pounds more than I should, and I have type 2 diabetes. And all of that means is that 3-year-old that was in the back seat of that car is going to lose a father sooner than he should. And as somebody who lost their father when he was 12, I didn't want that to be the case. And so it was the day that changed everything. Now, what it started me on was an incredible journey. And I dove deep, deep, deep into the world of functional medicine. And natural functional medicine is really finding the root cause. Because listen, I weighed too much, and I was a type 2 diabetic. And you know what? If I had followed the normal path, I could have just gone and said, well, my blood sugar is too high. I need you to put me on a medication to bring my blood sugar down. And I could have done that, and my blood sugar could have come down. And guess what? I would be in exactly the same place that I was then today. I would be in worse shape. All right. But I wanted to find the root cause of my diabetes and my weight gain. And so I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on functional medicine courses, gurus, people teaching in the space. And I learned how to read blood work and get really deep into the causes of it. And I discovered for myself what was ultimately driving my type 2 diabetes and my weight gain. And from that, I was able to make a shift in what I eat, the vitamins and nutrients that I put in my body, and you know what? Was it a straight line? Was it I learned it, I did it better? No. It was a zigzaggy journey for a long time. It was trial and error. It was let me try this, let me do this. Oh, that's working. Uh-oh, I just got off track, and then things got bad again. And then let's try this again. And so one of my biggest confessions is, number one, I've eaten a bunch of garbage food over my life. You know why? I love it. There is no amount of anytime anyone said, "Ooh, that's too sweet," that has never ever come out of my mouth. Ooh, that's too rich, never come out of my mouth. Okay? I love sweets. I love chocolate. I love cake. I love Skittles. Love. I mean, at one point in my life, Skittles were my favorite, like, candy. Okay. My favorite cereal of all time is Fruity Pebbles. Okay. Guys, I just want you to know, I've shared this with small groups before. What I'm going to tell you right now, I've never told anyone out in public before. But I think you guys deserve it, because I want you to know that there is no amount of food struggle or food issues that you've had that I don't understand and that I can't help you with. Because at one point, Nicole, her sister, and her mother decided they were all going to take a frosting class, a Wilton frosting class. Okay. Now, to be a part of this class, they had to go and they had to buy a 5-gallon bucket of like white buttercream frosting, so that for every class they could load up a small little bucket and they could all practice their making their flowers and they're doing their edges and doing all the things that you do with frosting, right? And so for many months, there was a 5-gallon tub of icing sitting in my kitchen. And the problem is it was in direct eyesight from where I would sit on the couch when I would watch television at night. And so I would sit there watching television, and maybe Nicole would have gone to bed already, and I'm sitting there by myself like, boy, I sure would like something sweet. You know what? There's a 5-gallon bucket of icing. So I would go get a bowl. I would take the top off the 5-gallon drum of icing, and then I would get a spoon and I would scoop big old scoops of icing out of that thing into the bowl, like I was eating ice cream, except it wasn't ice cream, it was icing. And then I would sit down on the couch and I would watch a television show and I would eat an entire bowl of icing. Okay? This is one of the main things that I realized is this is how you gain 60 pounds and you develop type 2 diabetes. But it's not the only thing, because one of the things that I learned in this process was, and because everything that I learned in my process is what we now use to help you in your journey. So if you have type 2 diabetes, if you have insulin resistance, if you have pre-diabetes, if you have metabolic syndrome, not only have I been there, but I know I can help you because I helped myself. But I've seen a lot of people on the internet say, just do what I did because it worked for me. But guess what? I haven't just done this for me. we've had thousands of people go through Hope 30 and it worked for them as well. So not only is it proven in my own life, in Nicole's life, but we've then proven it in thousands of other people's lives that we've taught this Hope 30 to. So hope30.com, you can go over there and check it out. It's really, really awesome. But as I learned more and more in functional medicine, one of the big things, in addition to clearly what goes in your mouth, is one of the most important things that you can address when it comes to your blood sugar and your diabetes. But I want you to know this. I discovered as I dove deep into functional medicine and the interrelatedness of all these different aspects of your health, that insulin and insulin resistance is one of the most prominent drivers of every type of, not just weight gain, although, in my opinion, insulin resistance is the primary driver of all weight gain. But not only that, it is the primary driver of almost every other type of metabolic health condition on the planet. You can talk about high blood pressure. You can talk about heart attack, stroke, cancer, like any of those types of problems, weight gain, diabetes, their inflammation, they're all driven by insulin resistance. Because I want to tell you a couple things that I learned in my journey that we now teach to other people, which is number one, that insulin resistance really is the biggest driver. And what a lot of people think is that you have to have been like me, that you would have to have gotten blood work that said, oh, you're a type 2 diabetic, or you're a pre-diabetic, so that's when I have insulin resistance. But if my blood sugar looks good, I'm fine. That's not true, all right? Too many people look at it as, do I have insulin resistance or do I not have insulin resistance? But the truth is that it's not an either or, it's a continuum. It's how insulin resistant are you and how insulin sensitive are you? And so many people are too far up the insulin resistant scale where it's making you put on weight easily. It makes you crave more and more sugar foods to keep that process going. And it makes weight loss very, very difficult because you have chronically high insulin levels. However, your blood sugar may look completely normal. So you're like, no, I don't have insulin resistance. You have insulin resistance for probably a decade before it ever shows up in your blood work. I had insulin resistance at least 10 years before I ever checked my blood sugar and went, oh no, I'm a type 2 diabetic. All right. So I want you to know that addressing your insulin resistance may be one of the biggest things, because there's a very, very hard and fast rule here. If you want to lose body fat, all right, insulin is the enemy of fat burning, okay? You cannot burn fat in the presence of high levels of insulin. And the more and more insulin resistant you get, the higher and higher insulin levels get, and it makes fat burning impossible. So if you have ever just tried some sort of calorie restriction diet and you found that you just kept wanting to get up and do the pantry crawl like me, and you were like, I need chips and this is too hard and I'm hungry all the time and I'm hangry and I can't follow this and this is really difficult. Well, it's because your body could never get into fat burning because of your high insulin levels. And just restricting calories is not necessarily going to make that happen. All right. And so what I want you to know is I have all the scars, so you just get all the knowledge. All right. I went through all the tough stuff. I did all the research. I've applied all of this information in my own life and got success. I've taught it to thousands of other people and they've gotten success. And now you get to be the beneficiary. Meaning you get all of the outcomes without all of the scars. And that's really what Hope 30 is all about. And definitely please feel free to ask any questions. We're here to help in any way. If you have a weight loss challenge, if you have diabetes or a blood sugar question, I'm here to help. I have a lot of experience in this place, and I would love to help you. And if you've just liked what we were talking about, you like the open and honest sort of like, guys, I understand you. I know what it's like to struggle with your weight. I did for a very long time. I did not feel well, but what we teach in Hope 30 is about eating real food in a way that lowers your insulin levels so you can switch from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner. And once you shift into fat burning, guess what? You start dining on the buffet that is you. You can start eating, your body starts burning your own body fat as a fuel source. We also find out that there's certain nutrients and things that you can become deficient in because of insulin resistance and your weight gain. And that's what I found out in myself. And when I started replacing those nutrients, I found my body healing those broken metabolic pathways so that now I am 60 pounds lighter than I was. My blood sugar is completely normal. My triglycerides are better than great. Everything about my blood work is fantastic. And it's all because of how bad things were made me search for a solution. And the solution, it took a long time for me to get there. It was not a straight line. I had a lot of failures in my own journey trying to get to it, but we have Hunter is 17 and a half. So over the last 15 years, there has been a lot of trial and error, but over the last 10, we have it nailed. And we have been reiterating and fixing and making it better and better. And you are now the beneficiary of the distilled down version. You don't have to make 5-6 years of mistakes that I made trying to figure this out. We've already done it all for you. And in 30 days, the group that just finished Hope 30 average lost 14.8 pounds in the 30 days. We had multiple people in that group who were diabetic, who I typically recommend if you are to take your blood sugar every day. And all of the people that were diabetic in the last group reported significantly better blood sugar numbers than they have seen in years. We typically see a significant drop in people's triglycerides. Triglycerides are often an indication that you likely have an insulin resistance problem. And so I hope that if you've struggled with food, if weight loss has been difficult for you, I want you to know that I understand you, and there would never be any judgment from anybody in Hope 30 if you were like, oh, but I drink a 6-pack of Coke every day. Who's going to judge you if I used to eat bowls of icing at night every night, right? I mean, like, let's be serious. Like, there is zero judgment. I only want to help you get where you want to go. And all of that begins with a decision, because I will tell you that there is no amount of information, there's no amount of learning, and there's no amount of books you can read, not enough podcasts to watch, not enough YouTube videos to watch that are gonna make you all of the sudden lose weight and heal your metabolism. Okay? Where it all starts is with a decision. And what I'm hoping for you is that it doesn't take an incident where you almost kill your family like it did me to finally make that decision. Because I was like, oh yeah, I need to lose. I told myself every Monday I needed to lose weight. This week I'm gonna eat better. This week I'm gonna do something about it. And you know what? It took an awful experience for me to finally make the decision to do it. And I'm just hoping that you're like, I don't want to wait for something awful. I'm making the decision right now that I'm going to do something about this. And whether it be your blood sugar, your blood pressure, your inflammation, your weight, your high triglycerides, any of those things that you're like, I would like to follow a health program rooted in functional medicine that will get to the root cause of my weight loss and any of my health concerns, and really work on shifting that. Because I'm going to tell you, and this will be my last story, and then we'll wrap up. But one of the unique things about, and this is for anybody out there that may have a blood sugar or diabetes problem. So what did we say about insulin and insulin resistance? Is that insulin resistance is ultimately what drives type 2 diabetes, because eventually you become so insulin resistant, you can't burn your sugar and your sugar levels go up, and then you become a diabetic. Now, what do they tell everybody? That if you would just do this, this would help your diabetes. They tell you if you would just lose weight, that will help you fix your diabetes. That is exactly backwards to me. From everything that I have experienced, from everything that I have taught thousands of people, I'm going to tell you that that is the backwards way to look at it. If you have type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes or metabolic syndrome, the objective is not if you would just lose weight, you would fix that. Because here's the problem. High insulin levels make it difficult to burn your body fat. And what do they often give diabetics to try to get their blood sugar down? They give them medications to increase their insulin. So it makes it even harder to lose weight. And so what I tell everybody, if we go in and we can work on fixing your insulin resistance, then you lose weight. And then as you lose weight, it feeds back and it helps fix your insulin resistance. And then your insulin resistance, getting that better, helps you lose weight. And we begin this virtual cycle of healing. And that's what we really want to do. Because right now they have it backwards. They tell you to lose weight to fix your blood sugar problem. I actually think it's the reverse. You need to fix your blood sugar problem to help you lose weight. And that is the right way to go. And that will help you in this virtuous cycle of healing. And if you need help making those changes, Hope 30 is the best place to do it as far as I'm concerned. You'll be in a big group of people all doing it together. And the next round, I think the next round starts this coming Sunday, which is the 30th, and we physically get started on the 2nd. And so I'm going to recommend, if you would like some help with your weight loss, just go over to hope30.com and you can read all about it, read a bunch of testimonials. And if you're like, that sounds awesome, then go ahead and sign up and come join us for this next round. You will get more teaching like what we did tonight. You'll probably hear more stories about some of my true confessions, because I'm very, very open about it in the group, because I think it helps everybody to know that I didn't live my life with six-pack abs. I've not always been a good eater, and I love junk food as much as you do. And I promise you that I can help you lose the weight and get where you want to go. All right. So thank you guys. Let us know where you watch from, and please put down in the comments if you see this on the replay. We really appreciate you guys coming on tonight. So, just like I tell my son every day before he goes to school, be your very best today. Hashtag never quit. I believe that God wants the very, very best for you. The day you believe that, change your life forever. Have an awesome, awesome night. Good night, everybody.